We believe as an organization that TV is great. It's powerful. It's a powerful medium. It serves a purpose. It gets people through the front door. But there is a need to upgrade the advertising experience. And from our perspective, there are three kind of primary issues with television advertising. One, too many irrelevant ads. Two, too many of the same ads. There's a frequency issue where viewers are seeing the same ad over and over and again. I'm sure you've experienced that. And then three, in certain cases, there's just too much commercial load. So at Xandr, as you know, we have the assets at scale, technology, distribution, content, data, to be able to address these issues. So I'm not going to completely give it away, but on May 14th, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear how we're using the technology of Addressable at scale to solve these issues, to create a better advertising experience, create a better customer experience. It's not a complete reinvention of what I'll call TV or of TV advertising, but it's a big upgrade. And it's this year especially, brands are going to want to hear about it.
Cool. And tell us how you define Addressable. What does it mean to you, and how do you explain that to your customers?
Totally. Well, I always say it's the ability to precision target at the household level and device level in the world of television and cross-screen, and then track back the lineage of kind of advanced targeting to real-life outcomes, whether bottom of the funnel sales, mid-funnel, website visitation, top of the funnel brand awareness. So that's kind of been the traditional definition. I think there's a new flavor that's trending right now, and it's just, frankly, just the ability to use the technology to frequency cap and manufacture reach and create a better user experience. And so that's something that I think there's kind of two definitions right now in the marketplace.
So tell us how the buying landscape is changing. The national buyers, the local buyers, what that mix is like, and who's buying.
Yeah. So right now, 50% of all national brands are using the product. In the past, it would be for a product or service that you would hear would be sold to less than 35% of the population. That's not necessarily the case anymore. You're seeing a lot of CPG and brands that are trying to reach everybody with a mouth using the product. They're typically using the product for reach extension and frequency controlling. But most of the national advertisers are using this brand. Regional, there is a movement into regional advertisers. I'll call them, kind of super regionals. The supermarket chains, these types of advertisers that are using it at a household basis. And I know that there is some testing on the local side that I'm hearing about, but I'm not too familiar with it.
Cool. And tell us a little bit about what advertisers, what categories, and what their expectations are and progress around performance and attribution.
Yeah. So we're at a phase now where in certain categories like auto or finance, well beyond testing, well beyond what I'll call that middle stage, which is where they invest in a couple campaigns a year. Many of them are always on. They've realized the light bulb's gone off. They realize the benefits. They're seeing the ROI around always being in front of their most valuable customers and the ROI that's delivering for them. But then you have these kind of other group of categories, like I just mentioned, CPG, that are saying, they're looking at the data and they're saying, wait a minute here, with rating points down, with kind of flat demand in the television ecosystem, and with pricing well beyond inflation, what it's causing this dynamic where they're having such a heavy rotation or oversaturation of heavy TV viewers, and it's exasperated now, where typically 80% of the schedule is being reached to only 30% of the households, at a very high level of frequency. So they're now using the technology of Addressable at scale, because now addressable advertising in the TV world is now available in 63 million households. They're using this product just to simply add a frequency cap. And when you do that, you reach the heavy TV viewer in a couple days. The ad comes off the system, and then it just extends across every decile. You have this kind of even distribution of deciles, and it just creates a better user experience, and it manufactures reach every time. So a lot of those types of advertisers that would typically shy away from Addressable because they wanted to reach just a broad audience are using it in a broad way, but just adding a frequency cap.
For the media buyer, how difficult is it to execute addressable campaigns amongst different distributors?
It's getting easier. We still have some work to do, but it's getting easier. And it's getting easier for a few reasons. One, on the seller side, there's been an aggregation. Consortiums have developed. You know, we now represent 40% of all sellable impressions in the marketplace, not only because we insert in live playback and VOD, but also because now we represent Altice and Frontier in terms of national advertisers coming into the space. So that's helped in terms of kind of only needing to go to a couple places for, you know, to create a buy instead of it being splintered across multiple providers. The second thing is I'm proud of just how the client side, how both the client side and agency side have leaned in to education and executing addressable advertising, creating centers of excellence. We've come a long way, and there's always need for education. But when I think of every single agency out there, they've got subject matter experts that are really pushing the agenda. So it's all moving in the right direction.